Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. Speaker.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate the opportunity as the newest member of the Justice and Human Rights Committee to share my perspective on why I will be voting against Bill C-273 unless we adopt CPC Amendment 1. CPC Amendment 1 addresses my primary concern and one that I've heard from many people, which is that Bill C-273 does not recognize or respect parental rights. Parental rights deserve recognition just as teacher safety does in any consideration of this bill and any consideration of Section 43 of the Canadian Criminal Code. And we have heard from many parents who are concerned about their place being completely excluded, undermined, disrespected, and disregarded by the current Liberal government. And it's not hard to see why many moms and dads might feel that way. At the very top of the Liberal government, there is a prime minister who has said quite clearly that he does not respect or recognize parental rights. In fact, last year, in a conversation with Muslim parents, he said that parents who are concerned about their rights and parenting their children are being influenced by, quote, misinformation and disinformation by the American right wing. And these comments could have been made just as easily to Christian parents, Jewish parents, Hindu parents, or Sikh parents. There's a fundamental disrespect that the Prime Minister has for the rights of moms and dads. And it's not just the Liberal Party that has this chronic ideological problem. We have a member of our committee here from the NDP, Mr. Randall Garrison, who also said less than a year ago, there's no such thing as parental rights in Canada. This is not just morally incorrect. It is also factually incorrect. The most relevant Supreme Court of Canada decision on Section 43 of the Criminal Code from the Supreme Court of Canada says quite clearly that the legislative purpose behind Section 43 is parental rights. It is not an American right-wing idea. It is a Canadian idea recognized by our highest court in the land and recognized as an important objective behind Section 43. Now, this is why we call the current government an NDP Liberal government. It's quite obvious. These parties work together on ideological objectives that seem completely inconsistent with what the vast majority of Canadians actually want from their government. And as a member of this committee, it is not hard for me to understand why so many moms and dads are concerned. So I think it's important that we point out that without Amendment 1 from the Conservative Party, we would actually be continuing the allowance of an ideological agenda that seems hell-bent on the marginalization of moms and dads in raising their children. And I'd also like to just share a statement from a member of the Musqueam First Nation, a granddaughter of a residential school survivor, who responded to these concerns about parental rights when Liberal Labour Minister Seamus O'Regan was going on one of his famous tangents against Canadian parents. Ms. Mbarki said, and I quote, "I am always very skeptical when the federal government gets involved in saying how parents should parent. Have we forgotten about residential schools, the 60 Scoop, off-reserve child and family services? The system saw us as savages who couldn't or can't parent." And this ugly side of our history is precisely why so many people are bothered, why so many people are concerned when the federal government and politicians in Ottawa treat moms and dads like they know better. And when moms and dads are marginalized from important conversations about child protection and raising children, it is completely unacceptable. And for that reason, I cannot support Bill C-273 unless CPC Amendment 1 is adopted. And I highly encourage all members of this committee to reconsider how they are treating parents in our country right now, and to consider CPC Amendment 1 as the way that we may restore the place of moms and dads in this important conversation. Thank you.